Welcome to the Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Everybody, I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
If you can sing what's in your heart and keep time, that's it.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today is an accomplished entrepreneur, award-winning author, award-winning film producer, and international lecturer. He's also the son of the legendary entertainer known worldwide as Ray Charles. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ray Charles Jr.
How's it
Greetings,
going,
Ray,
Ron?
and welcome
How's
to the
everything?
Actor's Choice.
How's everything?
Wow. The question that comes to my mind all the time, what's it like being the son of a man like a big man like that?
Well, that's why I wrote my bio. You don't know me, Reflections of My Father, Ray Charles. That was a constant question as I was growing up. Is Ray Charles Jr. and who was he and what was he going to be? You know, and I'm a son of an American music and film icon who came from extremely humble beginnings, as well as myself. I was able to find myself, you know, when I left my expertise in the financial industry to come in and brand him, because that's really truly all I wanted to do, you know, when I was going to school, is to be able to expand on his legacy and what he was doing, and kind of push my expiring my dreams aside for a minute, basically to make sure that he was immortalized in film, not just only in music.
There's a need to maintain his legacy, right?
I believe so, because he's embedded in the fabric of American history, American music history, and culturally, as an activist, which a lot of people don't really know about my father. I believe it's important to continue to tell his story, to tell his struggles for a new audience of young individuals who individuals such as himself who have laid the footsteps, the footprints are already there. All you have to do is follow these footprints and enhance on and advance on that and enhance what they have done. Okay. And so they've already gone through the hard part. It's really about basically continuing to guide a whole new generation of artists, attorneys, judges, so forth, computer scientists, in reference to what they can do. And don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do. But you have to work hard and you have to grind. And you don't have to have the spotlight in order to make a difference in this world.
So many things on your mind, sir. So many things. But before we move into that, please tell us, where were you born?
I was born in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. They told me Los Angeles. I was like, what?
Well, you know, that's where my parents received their, you know, that's where they basically decided to settle down in my dad's early career.
Yes.
And I was born there along with my brother David Robinson, who was born there as well. We then moved to Los Angeles when I was 3 years old.
Ray, you got a lot to talk about in the special upcoming project. But before we get into that, let's take a look at some of the marvelous work that you've done. First of all, the year was 1999. Ray Charles, 50 years of music.
Ray Charles, 50 years of music. That was my first project. And actually, that happened 6 years early. Okay. That was my first project, you know, out of the chute, out of the blocks, so to speak, in reference to branding my name with my dad, as well as figuring out what I can do. He was my commodity. Okay. And what I was good at is being a visionary. I'm a marketing whiz in reference to my education, business administration and economics. And so I just felt that they were leaving a lot of money on the table, and I just felt that I can come in and fill the void. Okay, for Joe Adams, okay, who was his manager as well as producer on some of those some of the songs. And Ray Charles 50 years in my music of music was my idea, and I basically took that from the ideology of what he wanted to do. He had done a lot of duets, and so I centered that special around duets. Okay, Randy Travis, from country and western to pop music with Stevie Wonder, with James Ingram to Michael Bolton to Gladys Knight to Stevie Wonder. I mean, I covered the gamut in reference to going back and forth to, and then there was a young group called the Brand New Heavies. Now, there's a great story coming out of that, is that Jamie Foxx was just now coming on the scene as a hot comedian, and I just said, I never heard of him. You know, just we got a comedian right now. Well, that guy we've never heard of, and Jamie Foxx, and look where he's become. You know what he's become with his career, and he's a genius in his own right, and a great guy. Yeah.
Fast forward to the year 2004. You got your first IMDb actor credit for the drama film Shernay Prince.
Yes.
In the roles of Hannibal and Roy Charles.
Yeah. Well, how did you know about that?
I do my homework, brother.
How did you know about that? You know, so what's ironic is that
yes.
During the middle of filming of Ray,
yes.
I had to leave the set of Ray to go to Russia to make this film about Alexander Pushkin. Pushkin was the forefather of Russian literature, who was the first one to write in the Russian language. He was of African American descent. Okay, and so that's another story to be told. Okay, but yes, I was in St. Petersburg, Russia. Okay, during the last, if you viewed Ray, okay, if you watch Ray, you'll see where they show my trophies, and he's walking with me. I received, valuable player. Well, I was out of the country at that time. I was in Russia at the time, shooting another film at that time. Yeah.
Well, Ray, I'm going to tell you something. I think the movie Ray was one of the best biopics that has ever been made. That's my opinion. Now, like I said, I've seen it 2 or 3 dozen times. Tell us what you were doing the filming of the movie Ray.
Well, my job, the only thing I said, and when I arrived at the set, and by the way, we're celebrating our 20-year anniversary because February of 2002 is when we started pre-production for Ray. And so it's our 20th anniversary of going into pre-production to make that film. Wow, when I stepped on set, the first person I went to was Jamie Foxx. And I just told Jamie, I said, look, I'm not going to be breathing over your shoulder. All I can do is help you with any kind of mannerisms and the small things that will remind people who know and grew up with my dad will understand who, and it'll be eerie because basically, you look so much like him in so many ways. I'll be here to just tweak you on some of those things, but in reference to that, I'm going to stand back in the shadows, man, to make sure you do your thing. And if you win, we all win.
That's right.
And that was all I said to Jamie. And we didn't really hang out because I think me hanging over his shoulder made him a little paranoid, gave him a lot more pressure. Number two, I just knew that he was perfect for the role because nobody knew that he played classical piano.
Right.
And I
got a picture. There's a picture that we've got of your father, and look, there you go. Look at those two guys.
Yes. And when they met, they played classical music together.
Wow.
And my dad didn't know that. I didn't tell him that. And I don't think pretty much his fan base knew that he was trained as a classical pianist as well. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, goodness. When you see the movie Ray, tremendous impact on actors, actresses, blind people. I know I worked for a famous blind person. Most people know him as Stephen Hardaway Morris. That name sound familiar?
Yes.
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. Nobody knows that is his Christian name.
Yes, sir. He'd always say, "Hey, Broadcast." He'd call me Broadcast. Hey, Broadcast.
Indeed. Yeah.
Wow, indeed, indeed. Okay, you are working on a biopic of a Wall Street titan named Reginald Lewis.
We were, right now, pretty much, um, out of respect for the family, they basically re-optioned that book, okay, to another producer. And we are kind of stepping back in reference to that.
Okay.
Okay. In reference to that, you know, um, for whatever reason, whatever not, I wasn't the spearhead of this project. I came on basically to bring distribution and financing to that. But for the most part, they're in a deal right now, so we step back to see what they're going to do on that. Um, we do have other plans, but I don't want to disclose those right now.
Here's one for you. Now you got something going right now on Broadway to do a life story on your father. Any ideas who will play Ray Charles?
We don't know that yet. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep that kind of tight-lipped, in reference to the individuals who are involved in New York and what we're trying to do right now. We really, COVID really set us back, basically, in reference to timing of the musical, but we do have plans to do that. Working very closely with the Ray Charles Foundation to make sure everything is in line and that they agree with what we're trying to do in reference to this legacy. But we want to continue to tell really good stories and constructive stories. And I think they're important for African Americans to watch the grind, to watch everybody sees the success of everything, but nobody really sees how they had to grind and what they had to go through in order to get there. And for my father, because he is an American, he is the American dream, from where he came from, the humble beginnings. There's no excuse for somebody to say, I cannot do this and I cannot do that. And that is the reason why I continue to tell his story, because I want young African Americans to really truly understand that, look, coming from humble beginnings, it should not keep you from achieving what it is that you want to do.
Ray, thank you so much with that attitude, my brother. That's beautiful. Keep that name alive. Okay, here we go. Sunday, September the 11th, there's a special event called Ray Salute for America. And by the way, somebody has a name. I can't remember his name. He's going to be hosting it. Some guy named Junior. That be you?
Yeah, well, I'm one to shy away from all this stardom,
Yes.
the celebrity stuff, and I just believe in the grace of God and what I'm able to do. But some friends of mine came along and just said, "Look, let's try to do this show. It's the timing is right. It's almost been 20 years since your father has passed away."
Yes.
But more importantly, I'm doing this because of the band members who have come to me time and time again, who want to play his music.
Yes.
Because it was so important to their careers. These guys are flourishing all over the world, and they want to pay tribute to Ray Charles, who taught them everything that they've learned in reference to their careers. And so, the tribute to America, it's on 9/11, and the reason we chose to do it is because there's no better than my dad, who believed in America. No matter what the consequences were, no matter what he went through,
right.
because he knew what he had become of himself, in spite of everything that was thrown at him, and that serves as a model, okay, for anybody in this climate, especially in the climate that we have in this country today, which is basically like, I call it like somebody throwing tear gas, and when the tear gas lifts, you're able to go through there and find yourself, grind, work hard, and I guarantee you, if you read Outliers and do what they say in that book, that you're going to succeed at whatever you try to do. But that night is especially a tribute to those who lost their lives in 9/11, number one. But it's also, in addition to that, it's really paying tribute to my dad, who is the American dream. He epitomizes the American dream. And on the same token, is that is the spirit of that day, is for the spirit of America to be able to continue to move forward, regardless of what they threw at us. And for those who lost their lives that day, and for America, and for Ellis Hall, who is a protege of my dad,
Yes.
who is also blind, who is also was able to follow my dad's footsteps, to know that he can do something with his life. I think that is vital, and it's no better day than to do that. This is not being disrespectful to those who lost their lives. It is truly paying respect to them through America, which will be sang. We will pay tribute to that song as well. And remember those who believed in that, believed in the American flag, believed in our traditions, and believed that no matter what anybody says, no matter what they do, no matter what they threaten, is that you can get up every day and decide what you want to do with your life in this country. And that's vital, and that's important.
Ray, I most sincerely want to thank you so much for being here today, especially telling us about race. Salute for America on Sunday, September the 11th. Telephone number is 213-926-2809. That's 213-926-2809 or 213-440-3390. 213-440-3390. Thank you, Tony. And thank you, publicist Cynthia Busby, my buddy.
And I would also like to thank Valerie Irvin of the Ray Charles Foundation, who's been doing an awesome job as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Charles Jr.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
Brother.
This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know that we're asking the Actors Choice Squad to help us get former baseball player Curt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Curt, who passed away January 20th, 1997, he was the husband of one of our most wonderful guests, good buddy, a friend of mine, renowned actress Judy Pace. So all you got to do is give us a call at our office, 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent award for a great baseball player. Roll it, Tony.
Virus took advantage of existing pathways and network systems.
There have been disruptions in basic utility service.
Somebody blew up a truck bomb on the 405.
It's got to be some sort of coordinated attack.
The airports are closed.
People are panicking.
I knew the great collapse was coming, so we sold our company.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is a veteran actress. In fact, she's been on Broadway, off-Broadway, and she's done some regional theater work. She's currently doing a play called Babe, courtesy of the Echo Theater Company. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Julie Dretzin. Greetings, Julie, and
Hi.
Welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you.
We always ask this question. I know it's crazy, but we always ask this question. Where you came from? Where were you born at?
New York City.
Step back. Look out of here.
Mhm.
We called the city so nice, they named it twice. City so pretty, they call it New York City.
That's right.
Big Apple. That's my home. I was uptown in Harlem, but I had a good time growing up in New York.
Okay. I was uptown too.
Yep.
Not that far uptown, but
Yes. Oh my God. We take the bus, go down downtown, go to Times Square, watch the statues down there. They had the birds on the top of that guy down there. He was a priest.
yeah, Times Square was very different back then, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it was. It was. But we got our hot dogs too, didn't we?
Yes.
And
Oh,
our
yeah.
pretzels, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh God, what was life about? Listen to that. Well, it's one of the things that we look at. Let's go back to the year 1989, the year that you got your first IMDb actress credit. It was a drama romance called "Listen to Me." Okay?
Oh.
So please take us back to those days. I do my homework. Where was you when this person came out? Where was you?
Oh man. Wow. Yeah. You really dug that out. That I was still in college. And I got that movie. I really hadn't done much of anything professionally speaking. And I got this movie, and it was like I was part of a debate team, and so it was going to be kind of like one of those perfect actors gigs, because you were in the kind of crowd of the movie, the main group, but it wasn't like there wasn't any heavy lifting involved, but it was like the whole summer out in the Palisades or Malibu at Pepperdine University. So I lived with my grandmother in the valley, and my parents' friends loaned me their extra car, and I would, be with my grandma, and then I'd get up at 4:30 in the morning and make my trip up to Pepperdine and spend the day, shooting this movie with Roy Scheider. And it was an interesting cast, but anyway, it was odd, and I'll never forget it. It was the first time I tried sushi.
Here's you something. Sushi.
Love sushi. Love sushi. Now I'm a sushi addict, but that was sort of in my real introduction to LA.
Julie, you don't know me that well, but I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I have is I have a bone. People, they hear this all the time, but I got a bone to pick with actors and actresses. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
I'm here to be a star. This is Hollywood, right? But they go over there and they do those TV. They go over there and they do that film. But guess what? They don't do no stage work. What that about?
I don't know, Ron. I'm right there with you. And living out here, it's like crazy to me how many of these young actors have no experience being on stage. And I grew up in the theater, and that's where everything is for me. And I'm in the office of the Echo Theater Company right now, in the middle of rehearsing a play. And it is the only place for me that I would describe as real bliss in terms of work is being on stage and rehearsing a play. But that's me, and that's you, obviously. But I guess, it's different for everyone. And I certainly appreciate all the benefits of doing work on camera, especially the paycheck.
Yep.
But you gotta train. Okay. You gotta know how to stand. You gotta know how to move your body. You gotta know how to speak.
Gotcha. You did a racing piece called "Oh What." It just got completed.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah, came on IMDb. It just got completed. You played the role of Gail, short film drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a short film written and directed by actually a member of this theater company.
Gotcha.
But she just sent that to me, so that's interesting. Yeah, that was something we did over during the pandemic.
Okay, let's get ready for this, because this one I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. You are involved in a play called Babe. I like you, babe. Go ahead.
That's me. I'm Babe.
You're Babe.
I'm Babe. I am the Babe. No, I'm Babe. Yeah, it's an amazing new play by a wonderful writer named Jessica Goldberg.
Uh-huh.
Jessica has written many plays and is also
that lady right there.
Yes, that's her. Beautiful Jessica, who's also a television writer. And it's a 3-person play. And it's very current. It is very much about the kind of new social norms of the workplace and society in general. And it's fantastic. It's funny, and it's moving, and it's challenging, and it's perfect because it's like an hour and 20 minutes, no intermission. You're in, you're out.
You're out, yes.
Right? That's what people want now. It's great. It's a beautiful play.
These days, you got to put a mask on.
Sorry.
Got to put your mask on.
Got to put your mask on. That's right. Chris Fields is the artistic director of this theater, and he is directing it, and he's doing a beautiful job.
Got a couple of pictures. Can you show the first one there, Tony?
Couple pictures.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's me. And Sal Viscuso,
Yeah.
brilliant actor, who plays my boss, Gus. That's his character's name. And there we have Wiley Anderson, who is the third actor in the play, who plays Caitlin. She actually plays two characters that I don't want to reveal too much about that, but she is an amazing young actress. I think this young woman is going to be a huge star. That's my prediction. She's 24 years old, and I think she's going to be a big star.
Now, you guys are at the Atwater Village Theater, correct?
It's called the Echo Theater Company, but it is it's in that complex of the Atwater Village Theater, because there's a few other theaters that share this space.
Got you. Echo Theater Company. I hear that word all the time. A lot of doggone good people are in that organization.
Yes.
Trained and they know what they're doing.
They really do.
How'd you get in?
I'll tell you, Ron, I spent about 18 years out here doing mostly television and film, mostly television, mostly guest starring on shows. And I was feeling very frustrated as an actor, because you know how that goes. Like, sometimes you work, sometimes you don't, but most of the time you don't. So I was missing my theater days, and I was missing feeling creative. So I started going around LA and going to different theater companies and, you know, looking at the work and seeing what I liked. Yes. I came here, I saw an amazing production. I came back again, I saw another amazing production. And then a friend of mine who's a playwright and a television writer, she told me that she was going to this fundraiser for the company, and she would love me to come as her guest and introduce me to Chris, the artistic director. I did. I loved him. We totally connected, and then he invited me to audition for a play. Yes. And I got it, and I did it, and that's how I got involved.
You know, I find because in this show I meet a lot of people, and one of the things that I like about people, and one of you, that's part of you, get good attitudes, doggone good attitudes. That's makes nice. You do some good stuff. Makes you smile.
It does. It does. But you know, it also helps that I have a very full life outside of my career. I think that is like kind of number one.
You want to talk about it? I ain't gonna talk about it.
You know, I just think it's really important to have balance in your life.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're solely focused on your work and solely focused on your career, you're setting yourself up for some heartbreak. Yeah. So I think having a rich life in all ways is important.
Back to Babe. How can I get tickets?
You can go to www.echotheatercompany.com/babe.
I got you, babe.
That's right.
There's a website. Actually, you just told us. But yeah. Anything else? Any other ways to find out a phone number, anything of that nature?
I mean, I would say just look them up online. You can look at the website for the whole company, or you can look at that one, the .com/babe, and that will take you right to the page for the play, to a button that says get tickets, and there you go.
Yes. I love going to the theater because you're sitting in your seat, and if you get out the front row, you just put your hand out there like that, touch.
Yeah, it's real close. It's real close in here, but it's lovely. It's a beautiful space, and I think people are really going to like this play. I think, it's a world premiere of a new play, and it's very exciting. So you should come see it.
It starts what day, and what's the other through what date is it going to run?
We open September 17th, and right now we close October 24th. Unless there's an extension, which happens sometimes. So we shall see. But and we do have a few previews starting September 14th, but we open on the September 17th.
17th, okay. Good grief. Just go see Babe, ladies and gentlemen. Go see it. It's gonna be something you're gonna like. I want to say, Jolie, thank you very much for stopping on by today, and hope you have a good run with Babe. And
Thank you so much, Ron. It was so nice to meet you.
And the pleasure's mine. And thank you, publicist. Lucy Pollock, would you please thank her?
Absolutely.
That lady is something else. We thank her very, very much.
Okay, thank you.
God bless you.
All
This is
right.
the Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what you just saw was the world of martial arts. Our guest, he's in that world. He began to study at the age of 6, and he took a course in judo. And from there, he was intrigued both by Chinese and Asian cultures, and particularly fascinated by the way that these cultures are expressed in both the hard and soft forms of martial arts. Ladies and gentlemen, to tell you all about martial arts, please welcome John Ozuna. Greetings, John, and welcome to the Actor's Choice, sir.
How are you doing, my friend? It's good to see you.
It's good to be seen. Good to be seen. Tell me, where you from?
I'm from San Jose, California. Yeah, born and raised.
Okay. All right. Just showed a clip of Dragon, just to let the audience see what martial arts is in action. But John, can you tell us how you got into this martial arts? You talk about hard.
Wow, it's been a lifelong passion for me, and it's I'm of that generation where when Bruce Lee first came out, oh my goodness, it changed my life. And I speak for many people. And I remember the exact moment when I saw him. My parents had taken my brother and I to a drive-in theater, and we had just finished seeing a Clint Eastwood spaghetti western. So we were leaving. We were leaving the drive-in theater.
Yes.
And as you know, drive-in theaters have several screens, just kind of all the way around. So as we were leaving, I was in the back seat, and I was looking out the back seat at all the different screens and all the different movies that were playing, and I saw this guy that was just flying through the air, doing all these incredible movements, looking like a real life superhero. Gotcha. And I begged my parents. I said, please, let me see that. And they did. And we saw every movie that he had, which were not that many. But that just planted that seed. And from that point on, I felt that's what I needed to do. And I did an after school program judo course when I was about 6 or 7 years old. And it was great. It was fantastic. But I was like one of 2 children in an adult class. So I felt like a beach ball. We're just tossing from person to person.
Tell us about the dangers of what you do.
I mean, there's dangers in just about everything, but it's just controlling. I guess the only way you can control a situation is to have self-control.
Yes.
And when you're going through, because I've had a great career of competitive fighting, and I have fought for decades, and I had the great privilege of fighting regionally here in California, all over the nation, the East Coast, Baltimore area, all over the world, all over Asia, all over Europe, and just have fought with the best in the world back in the day. I was on the USA team that was competing in the World Championships. At the time, it was the equivalent to the Olympics in Chinese martial arts. And I fought in the World Championships in Taipei, Taiwan. So, with everything that we do, there's a danger. It's the preparation. It's the doing everything that you can, physically, mentally, spiritually, to make sure that you're just in tune, in shape, and listening to the coach, the teacher, because they've been there before. So they're guiding you in the right direction. Even if your instinct says, you know what, no, you have to listen to what they say, and then you'll have good results. If you don't, you're sidetracked, and then you're not guaranteed a good experience.
So they're not pulling their punches. This is real when you're out there in the tournament.
This is real. They're aiming to knock you out. They're aiming, and it's funny. That's back in the day in Taiwan. I mean, they the way they would handle a competition. I mean, you're fighting, and the person you're fighting will get injured. So let's say they get a big gash on the forehead. What they do is they would call timeout. They give a 5-minute injury timeout. They pull the person out, and they're literally giving him stitches on the sidelines, patching it up, throwing them back in, and go for it. So,
you learn something new every day. Listen to this man. Goodness. The year was 2017, sir. You had gotten some work as a stunt coordinator in a movie called Blood Relative.
Yes, I did. I was approached. My career in terms of acting and martial arts and combining those two together, yes, actually it dates back a bit. And I had done well during tournament competition, and in martial arts in the film industry, they always cross paths. And I was invited to showcase some of these things on films. So for Blood Relative, that was an action film. So they really wanted some sophisticated fight scenes in that. And my part, I had a lead role, but my part was of a martial artist that was trying to help and people that were struggling at the time. So yeah, it was one of my first most sophisticated ventures of fight choreography and stunt work and being an actor, all kind of rolled up in one, all at the same time.
2018 to 2019, you had another piece of work, TV series called 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah. That was a really popular series, and it dealt with, obviously, it dealt with our adolescence and teenage years, and I have a great deal of respect for them having the guts enough to actually showcase this subject, which had to do with suicide.
Yes.
And when I was approached on that, I was pulled in as for a fight coordinator for the boxing sequences, and then eventually as an actor and playing a coach as well as coordinating some of the fight sequences. And wow, I do have, my family has personal experiences with that subject matter. So when I was approached, there was no question. Every actor wants to always work, so you never turn down work. So if you say, "Hey, we'd love for you to do this," you just immediately just go into it. But this one definitely had a lot more personal connection with me, and I was really happy to participate in that. And it had its run. It was extremely popular, and I'm just so happy that I had the opportunity to be a part of that.
Gotcha. This year, you did a piece of work, The Legend of Johnny Jones, a film, action, horror, and thriller. You did that one.
So now that one, that's kind of a unique one because that one is still kind of on the shelf. Okay. So I was approached to do fight choreography and have a lead role, but that literally has been shelved. So and that's what happens. In this industry, you have people that are passionate about wanting to get their vision, on the screen, and but what happens? I mean, there's so many components to this. One is just having the ambition to approach it, and the other is to have orchestrating everything that needs to happen in order to produce a film. But the most important is money. If you don't have money, you don't have a project. Because you got to pay your actors, you got to pay your crew, you have to account for everything that constitutes a film. And let's say you do have money, but if you don't have a form of distributing it or a showcase, then again, nobody gets a chance to see your great work. So, I want to see that most projects kind of end up in the shelf or never really seen by people. And I've had the good fortune that a lot of the projects I've been involved with have done really well. So it's just been great.
He worked Master Ozuna. We got a couple of pictures that we'd like you to take a look at.
Oh, sure.
Ooh, look at
Okay, let me see if I'm seeing what you're seeing.
Oh, you
Oh
can't see.
my goodness! Wow. Okay, I can see that now.
Okay.
Yeah. So that you see, that was in Taiwan. So
Okay.
I was there for a competition, and pardon me, that was in China. That was in China. And the gentleman that's there is from a gentleman from Germany. So we did this collaborative trip where there were Americans and Europeans that kind of got together and participated in this event, and this was in a temple, and it was those that brings back memories. So, and every time that we got an opportunity to go ahead and showcase our martial arts, we took advantage of that. So
Okay.
that was great.
Right. Next, please.
So yeah, well, okay, now that was in Taipei, Taiwan. So that's a place called Sun Moon Lake. And what makes that so unique and significant is that my teacher, Senior Grandmaster Richard Lee, back in the 1960s to early 70s, took a very similar picture in that exact spot. So it was my ambition to follow in his footsteps and do the same thing. So, and I finally had the opportunity to do that. So that's Taipei, Taiwan, Sun Moon Lake. It's funny. It's kind of it's a beautiful area where there's this temple that's up there. You have to hike for, I forgot how long, but it took hours to get to this temple to finally get to that point where we could finally take, and you feel that you're amongst the clouds and you're overseeing some beautiful sights, and you just feel that you're on top of the world when you're there.
Next photo, please.
That's a unique project because that was
Which one
for
are you? Which one is you?
I'm the one in the white. I'm the one that's piercing the other guy's throat with the sword. And that's there's no manipulation. That's the picture that it was. We did this for a coffee table book called Jump, and this author approached me and said, I'm doing this book. It's just a coffee table book. It's called Jump. I'm taking all sports athletes and dancers and I'm having them just kind of just showcase their particular art form and leaping and jumping. And I'm going to showcase this in a coffee book. And so we were obviously in San Francisco. That's the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. So we spent, I want to say, a good 3 hours and literally just jumping and doing a movement and jumping and doing another movement. And I have several other types of pictures with me jumping and kicking her. And that's one of them. And it's so funny because when we jumped and did that, he caught that moment. So it was his timing. So he caught the moment where the sword just touching the skin of his throat, and the swords that we use are real. So a lot of control. That guy no longer is with. The guy's no longer with us. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Next photo, please.
Oh wow! So this is in Thailand. So. My goodness, this is the National Palace Museum of the King of Thailand, and the gentleman that's with me is a training partner that I've known for decades now. He is John Buckley, and he was actually one of my teammates when I competed in 1992 at the World Championships in Taipei, Taiwan. But this was in Thailand. So, when you go there, you've got to go everywhere. So we were in China, we were in Taiwan, we were in Hong Kong and Thailand, and we were just really taking advantage of every opportunity to take a picture.
Okay. Next one, please.
Oh, wow. You caught me in the air on that one. So that's every year I participate an event that's in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes.
And this was part of a master's demonstration. So they had asked me to demonstrate. So, I've been going there for decades now. My goodness, I think the first time I went was 1991, and I still take a team from my school each and every year. So that was part of a master's demonstration that I did. And again, the photographer, we got to give credit to the photographer. They just captured that moment just right.
That's right. I think we got one more photo. Is that it, Tony? Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay. We have a video that we'd like to show you and the public. These are young people who are in a summer tournament. People, I mean, years ago, Kung Fu and with Bruce Lee and this and that was a big thing happening. They've got commercial. I mean, you can go and even now it's still commercial. You take the little kids, they go over there, they got the little uniforms on, they got the little belts on. It's looking good. Roll it, Tony. Wow.
Yeah, that's my school. So I founded a school called KO Kung Fu. And I've had my school for over 30 years, and it's a passion. I mean, it's when I went through the process of learning myself and eventually getting advanced levels of ranking, black belt, and then eventually master black belt rankings. It's always been an ambition for me to share that information, and for me to be in a position where I can teach all generations, but particularly the younger generations, where I can teach them and give them the same opportunities that I had to compete, everything from a regional level to a world-class level, and for them to experience just personal development and lay down tools of discipline and humility and modesty and a hard work ethic and ambition and drive and determination, all those things that help us realize our dreams. And that's a lot of what I continue to do. So, I don't not only teach those principles and philosophies, but I make sure that I am exemplary of living that life as well. And always striving for that next level of proficiency and or chasing the dreams and the goals, because we all do. I mean, we all have dreams. We imprint ourselves in our heroes, and we want to be like them. And it could be anybody. It could be somebody that just influenced you in one way or the other. And for me to be in a position where I can help others achieve those same ambitions and goals and dreams, I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, I love that.
You got time for a couple more? Here's one. There is a lot of violence in the world today. Guns are everywhere. What are your thoughts about that, sir?
Wow.
Every time you turn the TV on, there's people last night, people got shot in a bar. 5 people got, it's ridiculous.
It's a really good point. I am not, just personally, I am not an advocate of
guns.
Of guns. I'm not, and this is the reason why. I've been on the other end of guns, where people have tried to shoot and or kill me. So I've been in those situations. I have had loved ones who have taken their lives, and that was their means. So for me, guns is something that I tend to just really kind of stay away from. I do not own a gun. I don't blame people for owning guns, and I understand the allure of it. I understand the empowerment of it. As a kid, I begged my parents to buy me a BB gun. I begged them. I said, please, please, I'll be responsible. I really want to. Just the idea of having that level of control. And when I came of years, when I was a teenager, my dad finally decided, you know what, you're old enough to be responsible. So here you go. In my backyard, my home, we had targets and stuff. So I was, shooting at the targets.
Yes.
And there was a squirrel on the branch of a tree. And I said, my opportunity. I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this moment. So, and I'm here with my gun and I'm aiming. And I had a realization that I could not take another life for my own entertainment.
Sure.
I could not. And I, at that moment, I said, that's not me.
Wow.
That is not who I am.
Right.
And so I learned something about myself. Now, I mean,
John, I hate to do this to you, but we got to. I ran out of time. I hate to say
oh my
that
goodness!
So
wow.
We have to get you back because you got a lot to say. But John, it's been a great experience for us today. Thank you, and Joe Williamson, your manager, for sending you to us at the last moment, and we sincerely thank you. You got a lot of stuff to put out. We just ran
my
out of
pleasure,
time.
brother. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Master.
You have a great one,
John Ozuna. Definitely. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. Much thanks to our guest today, producer, actor Ray Charles Jr., actress Julie Dretzin, and actor Stunts John Ozuna. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.